Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race C Race and Strategy Guide, where we're off to Mount Panorama, better known as Bathurst in Australia, in the Group 3 machinery. Now I do believe the kind of Bathurst 12-hour race is going on around about this time. Certainly a lot of sim racing games are doing stuff around Bathurst, so I guess this is PD's nod to that race. But it's only actually, believe it or not, the second time we've ever actually visited Bathurst in Daily Race C history for Gran Turismo 7. Given we've been to places like Daytona and the Nürburgring 6 and 7 times, that just seems a little bit off. But anyways, we have 10 laps to get around, tyre wear at times 7, fuel at times 2. We've got the soft and the medium tyres both available. Both compounds are mandatory. That's the first time we've had multi-compounds in quite a while. BOP is on, damage is light, slipstream is real, it's a rolling start, and your only settings for this one are the brake balance, which will please quite a lot of folk and disappoint probably just as many at the same time. But yeah, for this one it is default setups, which I think I personally prefer. So I had some family business to attend to early this morning, so I wasn't on for the 7 o'clock race, so we're a little bit behind schedule in terms of getting this video out, but this is the 9 o'clock race. On the EU server. We're in the Genesis. It's the car at the top of the leaderboard. I do believe it's certainly one of the fastest cars around here, one of the meta Group 3 cars at the moment. I had done some practice in the past couple of days in this car around this track, so it made sense to pick it. We've got a nice new livery on it as well, but yeah, I must say, first thing I did notice about this race, I like the lighting settings. I like this kind of moody, hazy, sunny look that we've got going on here at Bathurst. Very nice indeed. I must admit, I was, it's nice to have some different kind of looking conditions rather than the kind of afternoon sunshine that many of the races we get for Daily Race C or the Daily Races tend to be ran in. But yeah, nothing much tighter happened on the first lap, starting behind Blue Racer down in 14th position. But we do make up our first position of the race through the Belgian Jefferson, picking up a 1 second penalty. I'm going to assume that's been maybe for cutting the dipper. Is it the dipper it's called? The kind of plunge to the left hand side coming down the hill, possibly picked up the 1 second penalty for that. I never actually checked the replay, but yeah, that's one position for us up into P13, and we're going to make up another position as we have a wild got max power in his Porsche facing backwards as we come out of the chase. We'll take a look at the end of the video as into exactly what happened there. Max power in typical got max power style, losing as little time as possible. But we'll fast forward up here till the middle of lap 2, and it's getting a little bit congested here on the mountain. But I was kind of thinking, strategy wise, what we're going to do here. I kind of, as I said, had actually done a little bit of testing, so I had a rough idea how long the soft tyres were going to last in this one. We make up another position as Blue Racer and Ram Old Boy go side by side through the mountain, which generally doesn't work out very well for the car on the outside, as witnessed there. But luckily we predicted that one quite nicely, and we're kind of adjusted our speed and our line to avoid going into the back of the Mazda RX Vision, and that puts us up into P11 as we come out of Forest Elbow for the second time. So an interesting race and decision by PD to give us multiple compounds in this one. It's the first time in around about 6 weeks, I reckon, since we had 2 different tyre compounds to run in Daily Race C. And as I've hopefully managed to explain in the recent video that we put out and the short the other day as well, the problems that kind of come with running the multiple compounds is the lack of the crossover between the tyres, and I think I'm going to be able to demonstrate that to you quite nicely here at the end of this race. But we make up another position here as the Mercedes maybe gets their braking a little bit wrong into the chase, and then we've got Fatban recovering from the outside of the track. We're going to take a look at what's happened there as well, but you might get a slight clue as we come down onto the straight here. I forgot the name of this. Is this the Mountain Straight it's called? I believe it is. We've got Blue Racer and we've got Bjorn going side by side, and we've got Arc with a 5 second penalty. Now that might well tell a little bit of the story. We're going to bump draft Blue Racer past Bjorn and go for the move ourselves down the inside. Bjorn making that nice and easy for us. Thank you for that, Bjorn. I never realised it was you until the end of the race, by the way, if you're watching this video. I had an inkling that that was your second account, but it wasn't until I seen your nickname at the end of the race that I managed to confirm that. So coming to the end of lap 3, I'm going to dive into the pits as Blue Racer is as well. Now the Bathurst pit lane is definitely one you want to be practicing in time trial. Just make sure you've got your braking points sorted for coming into the pits. It's very easy to cut one of the little corners or go even worse than that. You can go in even harder than that. You end up in the tyre wall and then you get reset to the main straight, and means you have to do another lap on your tyres. So yeah, definitely practice the pit entry on this one. Now our pit entry was pretty messy. Blue Racers looked a little bit messy as well, but I was still surprised when we came out the pits here to see he had picked up a 3-second penalty. When you exit the pits, make sure you are ready. The AI will try and throw your car over the white line, so make sure you've got a little bit of left hand steering lock in as you regain control of the car, just to make sure you don't pick up a 3-second penalty on exit. And also just make sure you look behind you to make sure you know what's coming up behind you. But pit loss is around about 20 seconds. Fuel is going to be no issue whatsoever. So we're going to jump all the way forward here to lap 8. This is the last of the drivers making their pit stop. It's the Greek who has ran the soft tyres for 7 laps and has now moved on to the mediums. And we're going to get the slipstream here. Thankfully, I thought they were going to defend it, but they were very kind to me, didn't defend it down into turn 2, which was nice. So that's going to move us up into 4th position. Now what I want to highlight to you here is we're on pretty worn soft tyres by this point. We're on our 5th lap on these soft tyres, so technically we're on our kind of 35th lap on these tyres, and the Greek driver has just came out behind me on a set of fresh mediums. And as we jump forward here to lap 10, you can see even though our soft tyres are now getting towards 80% worn, we've managed to pull away from that Greek driver with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Even though we're running a second, nearly 1.4 seconds off the pace that we could do once our soft tyres were fresh. And this is what I mean about the lack of a crossover on the tyres. Under the old tyre wear model, that driver on the medium tyres may well have kind of struggled to keep up with me for one lap, but he was certainly been able to put me under a whole lot more pressure as his tyres and my tyres start to equalise in performance. But the way the tyre wear model works at the moment, even though our tyres were short, even though we've technically done 35 laps on them, we still pull away from a fresh set of medium tyres. And that is essentially the problem with strategy at the moment, and why it's kind of very one-dimensional. Now this race is over 20 minutes, so that's a very nice race length indeed, I must admit. Nice to have that as well, so not too much waiting about between races. But let's very quickly go through the strategy options here, and then we'll take a look at some of the incidents that happened in that race and why we seen got max power facing backwards. How did Dart pick up his 5-second penalty? But in terms of your strategy options, your optimal strategy is going to be to start on the mediums and finish on the softs. Now you can do 2-8 if you're very good on the tyres. I reckon I had another lap in my tyres there at the end of that, and we did 7 laps on the soft tyres. But optimally you're looking at 4-6, 4 laps on the mediums, 6 laps on the softs, or 3 laps on the mediums, 7 laps on the softs. But if you're really looking for some kind of wild undercut, 2-8 is possible if you can make the tyres last to the end. Alternatively, if you start on the soft tyres and there's, well, it's not to say it can't work, but because the medium runners are not getting out your way particularly quickly, if you've got medium runners in front of you, you are going to lose time. But you're looking at 6-7 laps on your soft tyres, 3 to 4 laps on your mediums. But yeah, this one works out a lot better, starting on the medium tyres and finishing on the soft tyres. The lighter car, the way the tyre temperatures work, where the tyres are cooler when you come out the pits, just means you get an additional lap on the soft tyres, and the soft tyres have a massive advantage over the mediums. But that's it for your strategy options. Let's take a look at some of the things that happened in this one. Let's see how Blue Racer picked up this 3-second penalty coming into the pits. I think it's just here. He's unlucky, to be fair, but there is, you know, as a cut of sorts. We take a look at mine though. We actually got very lucky because we actually probably cut the first part of the chicane there just as badly as Blue Racer cut the second part, but we did pick up a 3-second penalty, so luck was on our side in that one. How did Got Max Power end up facing backwards? Goes for the move down round the outside of Bjorn, and a little bit of a racing instant there. Yeah. Got Max Power though, in typical Got Max Power style, reversing down towards the last corner, handbrake turns it and loses as little time as possible. you wouldn't expect anything else from Max Power. Let's take a look at what happened between Arc and Fat Band. So they were kind of side by side down the mountain straight, all good here. Fat Band's on the inside, and there's contact there. Arc ends up on the outside, takes instant revenge, causes chaos behind him. Now, I've had a look at that in slow motion. I would probably put that on Arc, to be honest with you. Arc was on the outside and didn't give Fat Band any space on the inside, to be perfectly honest with you. A little bit more chaos as a Supra ends up in the wall is there. Arc then goes, I thought he was going to take Fat Band out here, but you know, he puts a bit of a number on the Greek driver, so definitely not the best overtake you'll ever see in your life. And I'm pretty sure you know what's about to happen here, folks. Yep, Arc just being Arc. He gets a 5-second penalty for that. He also gets a broken engine. He loses about 10 positions, so you know what value he thought he got out of doing that, given he was in P2 with the chance of the win. I don't know, but you know, the lust for the revenge sometimes takes over all logic. But all in all, this is a pretty decent race, to be honest with you folks. We've not been at Bathurst very often. There could be a decent selection of cars available. There's a little bit of flexibility in the strategy as well, although it is still technically fairly one-dimensional. What we kind of outlined in the recent video is still apt here. But yeah, be interested to see what happens with the update coming on Thursday as well. I'm kind of looking forward to that, but hopefully this video has been useful in some way, shape or form. If it has, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.